Okay. So what do we need to do about it? I think, the number one thing I see with a lot of artists then, following on from that, is they don't want to be seen. They're in their studio or they're scratching away at their dining room table or they're out in the bush, sketching or whatever it is. But nobody sees that. You could be the most brilliant artist. And what does it matter in the end? If that's what you want, and that's all that you want, of course, that's perfectly fine. But how many artists do I hear the conversation of? But I'd love to have more sales. I'd love to be featured, or I'd love to be in a gallery, a commercial gallery. How can you be if no one sees what you do? It's a real, kind of conflict, isn't it, for many people? So dealing with the fear, dealing with the emotional mindset, sometimes a poverty mindset, a scarcity mindset. I see all that kind of mindset stuff happening in artists all the time. Because there's a fear, of course, that there's not enough. There isn't enough galleries and there isn't enough people to buy art. And that just hasn't been my experience at all. Once I think you step into owning that space, there is an abundance of opportunities. And as we know as business people, the business world has just been shaken up, hasn't it, completely in terms of owning a space, in terms of social media, blogging, all the stuff that we can now do for ourselves to be seen and project ourselves as creative people into the world. It's spectacular. It's so much back in our court to handle and deal with. Now, we might want to outsource to get help to do that. I certainly do. I have a team now, I'm proud to say. A team of, 4 or 5, I think. And that's people right now, as I'm here, doing this connecting, putting my newsletter together and editing my videos and doing all that stuff, so that I can keep being seen in the world and sharing more to help artists be better. So, what else do I need to say to you today? We talked about how to, that's right, finding more time to create, because I think that can be a dilemma. People say often, well, I can't make enough money to be an artist, so I need this job to earn an income. And how can I address that? Well, there's a part of me that just says it's okay to have a job as well. It's actually fine, like I do. But I particularly choose that because I don't always want to put pressure on my art to sell. I want to have the freedom of that creative moment, that flow of energy, for whatever to emerge on the canvas or the paper to happen without thinking, who's going to be judging this? Who would buy this? What, this, I'm going like this because it's like over the top of your shoulder, isn't it? When you have that little kind of niggling critic that's judging what you're up to. I have worked incredibly hard to get rid of that, especially being a perfectionist that I am. That voice has to go. And in order to do that, I felt perfectly comfortable with having other business and other work, running my practice, for instance, doing my coaching for creative people, in order to make the income so I don't have to think about that when I'm in the creative mode. That has been a game changer for me, actually. So when people are saying, well, I'm struggling to work, the way I look at that now is that the rest of that work actually feeds into the layers of what I become as an artist. The experience of, what I'm lucky enough, I suppose, to sit in a workspace of working with people and, healing and understanding human behaviour and all that space. For me, because that's so enriching and I love that work, it's natural that flows back to develop my creative energy. So there isn't a conflict. One isn't taking from the other. They actually do work together, but it's my mindset that had to embrace that there's not a battle going on for time. So my first tip, if you like, around that is maybe it's okay to embrace the other work that you do as part of your creative journey. On a very practical level, time-wise, I don't know if you've ever done this, but it's fascinating to keep a diary for a week about what you actually do with bloody time. Like, what do you do with it? I was horrified the first time I did this to have to admit to myself that I watch too much TV. Like, if anyone had come and asked me and said, do you watch too much TV? No, I'm way too busy for that. and plus it doesn't entertain me. When I actually diarised that, you know, there was probably at least an hour and a half in a day where I was just kind of vegging out in front of the telly. Now, it's not always about drive and do all the work, but when you actually analyse what do I actually do with the time, that can be quite revealing as to how you can adjust finding more time for creativity. And let's face it, when you're not being creative, how do you feel? How do you
Grumpy.
feel? Grumpy? Yep.
Frustrated.
Frustrated?
Yes.
Flat. Flat? Did someone say flat? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I notice in others and in myself, that there is no longer, I'm no longer willing to live a life which has grumpy, flat, frustrated, all of that. And that means I have to create. And I have to allow that energy to flow. Because it isn't healthy for me not to. I've had periods in my life where I haven't painted, not these days. But periods of time where I have, and when I look back at that denying of being an artist, that blocking of that creative flow, it's not a happy space to be. So one of the answers to being a happy artist is to just bloody well do it. Find the time and let that happen and acknowledge that as part of your existence. And I think, you know, if you are a practicing artist and that's not going so well, then you might need to look at what else can I do to increase my success. Do I need to up my skills? Do I need to address other areas of my life, my health, my relationships, my finances? What else? What other areas? So when I say my business is about making artists better, I just had this chat with Marcus earlier this morning. Making them better isn't just about necessarily being better skilled in what creative area you do, but it's about being a better person. It's about being better at contributing to the world. It's about being better in tune with yourself. It's about being healthier emotionally, physically, financially, you know, all aspects, isn't it? So therefore, when I come to, you know, working with artists, it's now, and of course being a psychologist, there's no way I can separate out all of this to an artist's success. One has to look at the whole package and the whole healing of the whole person on the whole journey to make that successful. Because there's no doubt, our mindset is what, 80% of our success? Does someone know the figures on that? Something massive like that. You know, 10 or 20% is what we produce and the work we do, and then 80% is affected by our mindset. Right, how am I going for time, Alan?
You've got about almost 10 minutes.
Great, fantastic. Okay.